Today we're celebrating St Bride. St Bride's or St Bridget's Day was actually on Wednesday last week on the 1st, but this is the nearest Sunday. We're also going to have go through an exploration of the Divine Feminine. And putting this together has been a real personal journey for me, because it's enabled me to join the dots between some books that have influenced me greatly. Greatly? Might be overstating it. So we're going to take a journey through those books, and I'm going to get the reading in as well. So, St Bride. Does anyone here know anything about St Bride?
She once miraculously turned her bathwater into a load of ale.
I'm glad you remembered that one.
St Bee's Head. That's Bridget, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, it's the same person.
Yeah, St Bee's Head in Cumbria.
Okay.
Melvyn Bragg's book, Credo, is a lot about St Bride. But it's a novel, but it's brilliant. Well researched and applied.
Was she Irish?
She was.
The County Kildare?
Yes.
Yeah, there's Elizabeth told from County Kildare. And she made a cross by her father's bed or something else.
Yeah, there is a St Bride's cross.
Yeah.
Well done. So, the official story. She lived between about 451 and 525 of the Common Era. She was born the daughter of a slave woman and her master. Her mother converted to Christianity, but her father didn't. And although she was a slave, she somehow had access to her father's goods because she had a tendency to give them away, which didn't please him, and he threw her out. She became a nun and founded a community for women and men in Kildare, but they had separate buildings. Apparently, this community was famous for its jam, and it's traditional to eat jam on the 1st of February, so I didn't know that on Wednesday, so I shall make a note for next year. She did turn her bathwater into beer for some visiting clerics. And my favourite, she was apparently accidentally consecrated a bishop by a church official in a trance.
Yay!
So she was there first. She's co-patron saint of Ireland with Patrick and Columba. Her symbols are fire and the oak, and she's the patron saint of blacksmiths and milkmaids. How diverse is that? So, moving a little bit away from St Bride, my first book is the Da Vinci Code. Anyone read it?
Yeah.
Really annoys me. The end of every chapter is a cliffhanger. So as a reader it annoys me because you've got to read the next chapter to find out what the conclusion to that situation is, knowing that that'll happen in the first couple of pages and another situation will arise which will end on another cliffhanger, so you've got to read the next chapter. As a writer it offends me because I think it's a cheap trick. If your story is good enough, people will want to read it. You don't need to resort to gimmicks. There, I've said it. However, the bit that I do appreciate is that it points out that Christianity in general, and Protestantism in particular, has a lack of the divine feminine. The Roman Catholic Church, of course, have their affection for Mary, but that can be a bit dodgy. In fact, I'm going to accuse the Roman Catholics of a fetishisation of Mary's virginity. There, I've said that too. So what is this divine feminine that Dan Brown alludes to, and where can we find it? Perhaps we can find it in art, and we have got some wonderful examples of art around us today. My second book is called The Image of the Body by Michael Gill, and it's a photographic celebration of the nude in art through history, particularly the female nude, not exclusively, but 99% of it. We begin with prehistoric figurines, these voluptuous, full-bosomed, full-bellied women with their faces hidden behind their hair, an exaggeration of the female form. We move through ancient Egyptian dancing girls, Botticelli's Venus, fully formed and a little coy as she emerges from the sea. And more recently, Picasso and Matisse, who exaggerate and deform the female form almost to the point where it's impossible to recognise that that's what it is. But these images, in general, are presented for the male gaze. They're not images, they're not celebrations of the female, they're celebrations of lust. Some time ago, I can't remember exactly how long ago, but during one of the biennials, Yoko Ono put up a piece of art on St Luke's Cathedral, St Luke's Church, called My Mummy Was Beautiful. And it's the image of a single female naked breast, suggesting images of nurturing and nourishment, literally a source of life, life given from one body to another. It was taken down due to public outrage. Not far away was a construction site. And on it, this is the early days of friendly construction, I think. We have better images now. But on this construction site, it still makes me angry, was a picture of a naked woman wearing nothing but, she was covered. She was wearing a visi vest, a tool belt and a hard hat, but otherwise totally, obviously naked. This image, this exploitation of the female form for a male activity. We might have stopped people wolf whistling off scaffolds, but the sense was still there. So it was a while ago, and the construction industry has better images up on its sites these days. So art, maybe we don't find the feminine there. Science. My third book is called Woman and Intimate Geography by Nathalie Angiers, and apparently she revised and updated it in 2014. It's well worth a read. As it suggests, it is very intimate. I'm not going to go into too much detail here, but it does discuss the physicality and psychology of being female. It dismisses myths and misinformation about the female body. For me, really describes what it means to be a woman, and that's not something I talk about very much. The most valuable thing was it provided a way for me to celebrate my daughter's transition into womanhood. It's full of wit and joy, but it's a science book. I still recommend it. If you find yourself anywhere near it, grab it. But it's science. So maybe, after all, we do need to turn to religion. My religious roots are Protestant, but also find resonance with ancient Egypt. And there we have hundreds of gods and goddesses. There's Isis, the queen of the gods, who put together her husband's body parts so that she could become pregnant with Horus. There's Bast, sometimes displayed as a cute little pussycat, sometimes as a rampaging lioness. And Taberet, who's concerned with childbirth and midwifery, depicted as a hippopotamus. In the Hindu tradition, there's Kali, both giver of life and bringer of death, which is not a contradiction if you think about it, because life and death are so intricately woven together. Even the vegetarians amongst us, think about the innocent carrots that have died so that you can live. More recently, but still in the ancient period, are the Greek goddesses. And my final named source is a book called Who Am I?, edited by Robert Fraser. Put my teeth in. In that book explores a number of personality typologies, including astrology, the Enneagram, Jungian archetypes. And one of those is represented in the Goddess Wheel, which discusses 6 goddesses of ancient Greece, 6 aspects of the divine feminine designed to form a whole. There's Hera, Queen of Heaven, goddess of power, the ruler, concerned with partnership, also a matriarch. There's Athena, goddess of civilization, concerned with education, the city, and intellectual pursuits. There's Aphrodite, goddess of Eros, concerned with sexuality, passion, and the arts. There's Persephone, queen of the underworld, and her aspects are visions, transformation and healing. And there's Artemis, goddess of nature, concerned with adventures, the wilderness and animals. And Demeter, the earth mother, concerned with plants, childbirth and nurturing. And I hope that the men here will feel a resonance too. This isn't about male versus female, this is about the underlying masculine and feminine energies that we all possess, particularly today, obviously the feminine. But we have our more local traditions as well. We don't have to look to ancient Egypt, ancient Greece. We can look across the sea to Ireland. Before there was St Bride, there was Bride, a triple goddess, maiden, mother and crone, celebrated during the festival of Imolc on the 1st of February, when she transforms from her crone aspect to the maiden to welcome in the spring. Her symbol is fire, the eternal flame. She's the protector of blacksmiths and midwives, healing and poetry. She is altogether older, darker and more earthy, although St Bride was quite a colourful character. I think we've got something more primal going on with Bride. She comes from a time when the Earth Mother was revered and celebrated. The divine feminine was recognised as creative energy, as nurturing and healing. This is a bit I can't reference, I can't remember exactly where I came across this, but I once read a description about the change in religion. A move from a time when we celebrated the Earth Mother to when we celebrated the Sky Father. The Sky Father conquers, ravishes, casts aside the Earth Mother, and the old ways are rejected. We see an imbalance of the masculine and feminine energies. The Earth Mother becomes Mother Earth. From all mother, source of life, to a source of goods and commodities to be used. And when we look around, we see this imbalance. We see a world filled with hunger and war. The earth is destroyed, the water and air are poisoned. All around we see exploitation of animals and people. And who's the President of the United States? Donald Trump, ultimate example of rampant patriarchy. Everything he says is clever, everything he does is right, any role he's offered he's fit for, because he's a man. And again, I'm not accusing the lovely people with the Y chromosome who are listening to this of behaving in this way. It's that imbalance. When you have an imbalance between masculine and feminine, Trump is the inevitable result. But can we find a way back? Can we find a way to reconnect with the divine feminine now that we have some idea of what it is? Perhaps the reading gives us a clue. Jesus is here, the teacher, the rabbi, a Jewish man who believes he knows what his mission is. He is confronted with someone who is in every way inferior to him. She's a woman, she's poor, she's non-Jewish, and she's foreign. I found 3 versions of this story in the Gospels. In the one we had, she's Canaanite. In another, she's Syro-Phoenician or Greek. And in the other, she's Samaritan. It doesn't matter where she came from. The important thing is she's a foreigner and she's non-Jewish. But she surprises him with her words, with her wisdom. She confronts him about what his mission really is. I have often wondered if she is the reason that Jesus took such an interest in women for the rest of his ministry. So perhaps we need simply to be open to the unexpected, to be willing to be surprised as Jesus was surprised by the woman at the well. It's spring. Bride turns from crone to maiden. New life is opening up all around us and surprising us. And it's a time of hope when we shake off the doom and gloom of winter. So hopefully you have a butterfly on your seat, or if not, one nearby that hasn't been claimed yet, and a pencil or a pen. So please, I would like you to write on your butterfly something that you're hoping for, or something that surprised you, or just something you'd like to write on it. And come and stick them on the prayer table so that we have a little flutter of butterflies on our prayer table. Thank you.